Welcome back to the channel. We're talking about America versus Europe. If you've been living in America your whole life, that might not be your best fit in terms of living conditions, culture, how the people act around you. You might not like America, but if you tried visiting other countries, seeing what culture is like outside of America, you might be able to enjoy life a little more. So I've prepared some videos that we can look at people's perspectives who have actually visited Europe. Not just me. I've been to Europe. I could already vouch for it. But let's see what other people's opinions and perspectives might be because you might not just want to hear it from me. You might want to hear it from other people. So let's get right into the first video.
It is actually so wrong how hard it is to be healthy in the United States compared to places like Italy, Spain, or anywhere in Europe. In these European countries, you don't even have to try to be healthy. You can eat any of the foods and still feel fine. Their wine isn't poisoned. Their bread isn't full of chemicals, and you walk everywhere. You can just exist and feel amazing every day. But in the States, you can do all the right thing. You can go to the gym every day. You can spend thousands on a doctor because that's what it costs here, minimum. You can eat healthy food and still just feel horrible because this place is like a minefield. There's poison in our food. If you don't believe me, look up food regulations here versus Europe. Our bread is full of toxins. Everyone is spending tons of money on supplements and doctors and optimizing, and yet everyone is fat, depressed, and feels horrible.
Yeah, that's a big problem here in America. The food is kind of garbage. There's a lot of carcinogens and red dyes that might not exactly fit for the diet of someone who's trying to be healthy. And yeah, I could say that European food tastes a lot better and is a lot healthier and it's cheaper. Like there's, the triple threat right there. That's all you really need to convince me for real, because I'm a healthy guy. I would prefer my food to be tasting good, be healthy, and cost less. And that's what there's a lot of things that they let slide in the FDA for America that does not slide in Europe. Our McDonald's are different. As personally, my favorite part about eating in fast food restaurants in other countries in Europe is eating McDonald's. It's amazing. I go to the McDonald's on my block and it's garbage. All you get is Minecraft meals and just annoying people who also you have to eat by. But yeah, let's go and get right into the next video.
Just make me think that if I never had the courage to quit my corporate job and leave the stable 9 to 5, the American dream, like everyone told me not to, I would not have experienced half the things that I've already experienced. And I also would not be sitting right now on a sailboat in the middle of Croatia watching the sun go down. Also, this is like a fucking yacht behind me. Like, where am I? Like, it was only a year ago that I was going to the office every day, literally miserable. I would actually leave in the middle of the workday around lunchtime to go sit in my car and cry because I was just like so miserable about everything. I hated my job. I used to do engineering and I just knew that I was so out of place. I could not just keep going into the same office 9 to 5 days a week and just know that that was my future for the next 40 years. I was someone that had my whole life mapped out for me. Like, I was always told go to a good school and get a good job and make a lot of money and you'll be fine and just get the white picket fence and the big house and the husband. Everything will be perfect. I just feel like this dream that they're selling is not even a fucking dream. Like, it's a scam. And I just thank God that I was brave enough and believed in myself enough to know that I was not where I was supposed to be and to make that jump to just quit. And then after that, I just left. I left. I traveled for months and then I made it work. Like, I'm still traveling. I figured it out and you just have to make the jump. If you want me to tell you my full story of kind of just like how I did it and how I got here, I don't know, leave a comment, let me know. If you guys want to know, I'll like give you the whole breakdown of how I did everything. I could not be fucking happier. So if you needed a sign to leave, to change something, even if you have to move to a different state, you don't have to leave America, okay? Or just anywhere, different country, this is your sign. You needed it, make the jump.
Yeah, that first jump is quite a difficult one, like because it's not everyone's doing it. You know, this isn't something that they teach in schools. This is not something that a lot of your friends are going to be doing. You know, you're going to be the odd one out if you do something like this, and you know, it might be worth it. It might be worth it, like considering how much more depressing it got living in America nowadays. You know, it makes more and more sense every day as the days go by that you might be happier somewhere else. You know, I could say the happiest that I've been was when I was traveling in Europe. Um, not a lot of people are willing to admit like they're probably not living the happiest life in America. Um, but yeah, that's just the way things go. Uh, and very difficult to make a change in your life. You know, it's a big change to just uproot and like go to a country that you probably never have been to before. Uh, it was hard for me, but definitely after that experience, I'm looking to make it like a permanent change, like no doubt. But yeah, let's get into the next video.
Work hard and then travel? Like, what are you talking about? Literally, first of all, you could die tomorrow. Second of all, look at this. Excuse me, do you literally even just look at the news? Like, places can literally disappear in one day. There could be a war, there could be a hairquake. And you're literally telling me that you want to wait and work and save money to travel? Like, are you absolutely insane?
Okay, that guy was a little eccentric, but he was speaking facts. You know, it may sound crazy, like everyone tells you like you should be like saving in your 20s, but then if you wait too long to actually start traveling, you might be too old to even enjoy the kind of experience. Like it's a hard balance that you have to strike. Like I said in the last video, work life balance, but like it is kind of true. You gotta make sure like you're prepared for the future, but you're enjoying life in the present at the same time. Um, yeah. And the views like that are in that video, you do come across that often when you're traveling through Europe. Um, they don't compare to the New York views do not compare to what you see in other countries. Uh, but yeah, let's go on to the next video.
Best decision I ever made in my 20s. The best decision I ever made in my 20s was to move to Spain. Why? Because this is a Tuesday afternoon. I went to work at 10 a.m. I got out at 1 p.m. And now I'm just here relaxing in a park. These are things that you just can't get back in America. The ability to have space in your day, have freedom to go out, get a coffee, enjoy life. You just don't have that. If I was back in the States right now, I'd probably be looking at a computer in a cubicle. I don't think I ever go back.
Well, you heard it from him. He moved to Spain. Probably got like one of those remote jobs in Spain, and looks like Barcelona, and he's living his life. He's living the lax life, which doesn't sound too bad from this perspective. Yeah, when you're working American jobs, you rarely have those moments where you could just relax and enjoy your time. Like you always have that looming idea that like the next day you're about to just get right back into that 9 to 5 cubicle again, and all your freedoms are just they're almost like imaginary. The idea of having freedom. But yeah, if this might be your sign, if you're watching this, like maybe you want to pursue this. And I do have some future videos where they actually explain how you can go about this. That might actually be the next video, but let's see. Oh, this lady.
One of the hardest things about solo traveling is hyping myself up to do my makeup, pre-gaming by myself, and now I've just walked out onto the streets of Milan with no plan, no bar to go to, and I'm just gonna wing it. And it's hard to like psych yourself up and be like, let's go take myself to a bar on my own. You haven't got your girls there to like hype you up, being like, you look good and stuff like that. But I know once I get to a bar and I get an espresso martini, like everything will be okay. But it's definitely hard to like get hyped up.
Yeah. You know, solo traveling, things like that, it does get difficult sometimes, especially for a solo traveler trying to hype yourself up to actually like go out and to get into a bar. But you know, it was fun for me when I was like in Romania, Bucharest, Romania. You know, it's a daunting experience to try to like go to the clubs by yourself, especially when, you know, the people are probably less used to hearing you speak English. But you know, I knew salsa, and it was a salsa club, and I got to speak the language of dance, so to speak. But you know, everyone at the salsa club knows how to speak dance. So you don't necessarily have to speak their language, and a lot of these countries also do speak English. So, yeah, just the the nightlife experience. I feel like that video sort of portrays it kind of nicely. These European countries do have some fun nightlife activities. Yeah, not like here in New York. Like, I mean, from what I see, it's like usually just, you know, you're drinking at a bar, a dive bar, or and it's expensive here. Like $17 for a drink. That's the standard here in New York. But yeah, let's get into the next video.
A lot of people like moving from the U.S. to different countries, and they're saying how we're getting scammed and how everything's way too expensive. I'm like, yeah. I walk out of the door and I'm already spending $200. There's people that move to Thailand and Bali, and they're living off of like $500 a month. My car payment alone is more than that. Like, if you have a remote job and you can go anywhere, get the fuck out of the U.S. Why are you here? If you're single and you have no responsibilities, I would bounce.
Yeah, definitely. He's speaking facts right there. If you have a remote job and your company rules, policies don't care where you're actually living, because there is a lot of remote jobs where, you know, they actually do care. Why are you still in America? But yeah, let's keep going.
You know what I mean? I'll get the fuck out of here. We're getting scammed, bro. Not only that, but these places are fucking beautiful. One of my friends just told me he went to Bali, and his Airbnb was like $86 a day. And it was nice as fuck. It was like a 5-star Airbnb. That here would be like fucking $800 a night. I don't know, man. I just got my passport. I might be out of here in a few months. I'm not kidding.
Get your passports. Get your passports. You know, if you get a passport as an American, consider yourself lucky. Like, man. And yeah, the hotels comparatively to, you know, places like Bali, you know, even other like lesser known like European countries, like it's a whole lot less expensive. And if you have an ability to make money online, like you have the ability to do so right now, make sure you seize the opportunities while they're still existing, because, you know, AI is out there. I've been warning you guys, AI is out there, and might just, you never know what it's capable of. But let's go right into the next video.
Everyone in Europe is happy because everybody here has a third place. I'm in Lisbon right now, and the entire city will sit down at cafes, restaurants, or bars for hours and hours and talk to their friends and families. People will leave the office in Portugal and go straight to a cafe, order a beer, sit down, and sit and laugh with their friends all night long, and then wake up and do it again the next day. The United States simply does not have this level of community where people gather at a place in public all day with their friends and talk. People in the US will just go home and doom scroll TikTok for hours and hours before bed. In Portugal, it is all community based. You have your local restaurant that you go to eat, you have your local cafe that serves beer and coffee, and you sit outside in the street and drink and smoke cigarettes all night. And people here are way healthier because they're happier and they have a sense of belonging.
Yeah, no, he's spot on when he's talking about third spaces, because that's the thing that I've seen a lot of TikTok videos of Americans speaking about, you know, not a lot of third places for you to go because, you know, usually there's not a lot of time, but when you go to a third place, usually the people aren't so, you know, welcoming or friendly, maybe for whatever reason. And when I was in Europe, it felt like I wanted to stay in the restaurants that I was eating at. Like, it felt like it didn't really matter, how long you ate. The McDonald's that's around me, if you go into that McDonald's, there's like no seating. Like they kind of like renovated a little where there's like they took away a lot of seats and there's signs saying that you can't stay longer than 30 minutes. They don't want you there. They think if you're sitting in the restaurants, you're actually taking money away from them. That's how they think in these fast food restaurants or any restaurant. If you're taking up space, not spending money, you're taking away their money. But yeah, no, it's not like that in Europe. They want you to stay. They want you to enjoy your life. They want you to be happy with where you're at the time. They pride themselves in atmospheric, restaurant aesthetic. But okay, let's continue this.
We need to bring European community culture to America. After work, go straight to the cafe, go straight to the bar, and sit and talk with your friends for hours. Like 4 to 5 hours, people will just sit and talk all night. There is no, hey, I'm going to go home and go to bed. It's like, how long can we sit here and talk before we get tired and have to go to work the next day? And the work-life balance here is so much different than the U.S. Like, people will get off at 4 p.m. and work for like 7 hours and then just go sit with their friends all night, and they have holiday and more holiday and more holiday. Like, it's a pretty good life.
Yeah. No disagreements there. And it's funny how Europeans call their weekends or like any days that they have a day off holiday. Like when I was like doing the travel agency thing, when you're like booking trips for anyone who's ordering, it was like a European travel agency, and if you're booking a trip for them, they call it a holiday. And in America, we just call it like, like a vacation or not a holiday. The only holidays we have are like Christmas and Halloween, but European actually, they love their holidays. But yeah, let's continue.
America is the best country in the world to make money, the worst country in the world to start a family. It's the best country in the world to make money because there's degeneracy everywhere, so you can take advantage of everyone's dopamine receptors. But at the same time, you can't really start a family because everyone's so degenerate, and so you can't trust anybody. So how do you find a middle ground? First, you move to a big city such as LA, Miami, New York, get a high-paying corporate job or start a business, stay in there for about 5 years, stack as much cash as you can, and then move to a nice Eastern European suburb with high serotonin. That way you can start a family and live happily ever after. That way, by the time you're 30 or 35, you're still young and energetic and you can still think properly. You can enjoy the rest of your life doing whatever the fuck you want, but at the same time, you have that knowledge and you have that experience to leave a lasting impact on the rest of the world. Old and rich people are jealous of the youth because they have time, but also young and poor people are jealous of the old because they're rich. So why not have both?
That makes sense to me. Why not have both? And like I was saying before, the youthful people who travel, the old people are jealous because they can't do every single activity that they can do. Like, while you're young, you want to do the things that, rich people and the old people, not necessarily old, but the old people do happen to have more finances for a trip like that. But yeah, if you can find a way to do it, that's why I always like try to get people to see the opportunities that are out there at a younger age, because most of the time, if you're young and you don't see these kinds of things, you don't get that motivation to actually pursue something like that. You think America is the only path that you have in life, and that's just not the case all the time. Yeah, I kind of interrupted that video with this next video a little bit, but yeah, this guy, speaking facts. Yeah, try to leave America if you can. But yeah, as I was saying before, this is the video of how this lady managed to move out of America and pursue, I think it was a remote job, to actually work remotely in Italy, but still like converse with people from the West Coast in America. But yeah, let's see how she does it.
This is how I moved to Italy as a 24-year-old American. I'm here on the new digital nomad visa. I made my consulate appointment in July and flew to San Francisco in November and got my visa in December. Then in January, I moved to Italy. I went straight to the post office to apply for my Questura appointment, and then I was touring a bunch of apartments, found a 1-bedroom apartment that was fully furnished. I work in luxury branding, and most of my coworkers are based in the West Coast. My visa's for 1 year, but I can renew it indefinitely, so I have no idea what the future holds. I've been adjusting to the culture here, but I'm just exploring, traveling, and seeing what I like. And now I live in Italy.
Yeah, that sounds like the life. You know, if you got the ways to do it, you know how to do it, then you could just seize the bull by the horns and actually achieve what you're trying to get out of life. And it seems like she's doing it. That's how she did it. There's a few other ways that you can do it, but the way she did it seems pretty ideal. But yeah, I think that was the last video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the idea of actually moving to Europe. If you're already in Europe, you know, let the Americans know, you know, you guys got it good over there. And yeah, you know, this channel is about showing you guys the opportunities, making sure you're not completely doom and gloom about life, because life gets hard, but you can't let it keep you down. And yeah, if you like content like this, I have other reaction videos now, if you guys want to check that out. Yeah, if you like this channel, leave a subscribe. And yeah, more videos like this are coming in the future. And I hope you guys have a good day.